Hey, I just wanted to go through these last two modules. I just finished grading um, the exams from like last week. So when we went over the like brain and the cranial nerves, and then just a couple things from this week that I thought would be helpful. So I'm just going to start with last week and some of the commonly missed questions that I saw. So the first thing I want to start with is the cranial nerves. I posted a video on last week's collaboration board. I suggest you go and watch that. But something that I saw was very common was instead of naming the nerve, I just saw a lot of people just put cranial nerve. You do need to specify which one, so I would like go through and learn those. The next thing is on the midbrain, which is in the brainstem category. We have the corpora quadrigemina, which are these four colliculi combined. If you look at the top, you have to specify whether it's superior or inferior. I saw people miss a couple of questions on that, so just make sure to look at all the drop-down menus and the tabs as you're going through this. And then lastly, the most commonly missed concept of the quiz that people lost a lot of points on were structures of the spinal cord. I saw a lot of answers that said, oh, I didn't see what was highlighted, or mostly it was just I didn't see what was highlighted, or people would just put the spinal cord because they weren't used to how it was highlighting on the question. So, for example, the ventral horn on this is blue, but the lateral horn is going to be pink and the dorsal will be green. That threw a lot of people off because they're looking for a blue highlighting, but we have highlighted it in a different color. That's the same for the columns. The dorsal column will be green, lateral will be pink, and ventral will be blue. So make sure to just look for different colors because they are highlighted, they're just not in the blue that you're used to. Yeah, so there's that. Same with like the dorsal root ganglion, they would be highlighted, but people just didn't see that. And I really don't want you guys to miss points just based on not being able to see the highlighting of it. So I just wanted to go over that from last week so that you can get some of your points back when it comes to the test. As for this week's, I just wanted to kind of go over some of the parentheses to start with. So most of the parentheses you can actually use instead of the other terms, but that's not true for all of them. So for the pinna, you can call it the auricle. You can also call it the external acoustic meatus or the external auditory meatus. You can use either one of those words. For the tympanic membrane, you must put tympanic membrane. You cannot put eardrum. And then, so there's those. You can call it the eustachian tube, but you cannot call it the auditory tube. And the auditory ossicles, not ear bones. For these two, you can call it the oval window instead of the fenestrae vestibuli, or the round window instead of the vester cochlei. I prefer round window and oval window just because the round window looks round and the oval one looks oval, so it just makes it easier to remember. And then again, you have to call it the vestibular cochlear nerve, not the auditory nerve, so you can't use it there. But you could call the organ of Corti the spiral organ. We do accept that. So those are just some things that kind of make it easier to go through. Just if you use like simpler terms, it's less to memorize. But other than that, just study hard, and you guys are almost done. Good luck on your exams, and it's been a great semester working with you guys.